The Edda banner was finally confirmed yesterday on the Japanese stream and also on the client that some content creators have for early access content. Sadly, I don't have access to that, so I need to wait for other sources. But as you can see, we're getting the Edda banner from the 16 all the way to the 29. I already added this into the website, into the timeline. But let's talk a little bit about her kit, what she does and why she is so good. Because yesterday I was talking about this and people were asking me, to actually go more in depth as to what her kit does. So we're going to be going over her kit. The reason I'm not adding kits for the Taiwanese characters on the website is because I don't want to have to write twice 15 skills. Okay, it's a lot of skills. It's not worth to write them on with Google Translate and going back and forth to see what they do. Instead, I'll just wait for the Taiwanese characters to come to global and properly write their kits once. That's it. So we're going to be talking about new characters on the Chinese wikis. Now, all that said, all that yapping aside, let's go over her skill set, what she does, why she's so good, and then over a couple Chinese builds. As you can see, one from Tantab and the other one from Cilion for the Chinese community on GameKey. That said, before we start, as usual, leave a like, subscribe, comment to the channel, and let's get started with Edda and why she is the beast you want to pull for. Okay, current banner, completely skip it. The current banner, it's like a Nunungal Garcia. Don't pull here, it's not worth it, not worth your gems. We have 11k saved for our next girl. Okay, all that said, let's start with her passive. I'm gonna be zooming in, hopefully you guys can actually see everything. It's not too small. So her passive is pretty simple. She will perform assisted attacks. Anytime someone is getting attacked within 4 tiles of Edda, she will actually support them with 1 physical attack, range attack, right? She does this once per round, but if you get her to 3 stars, as you can see, she does this twice per round. She also gets an increase on 6% attack on 2 stars, and if you get her to 4 stars, this will go to 12%, and also a 40% of physical attack damage on 5 stars. The sweet spot for Edda is going to be 4 stars, because you go to 12% increase attack by default, and you also have 2 attacks per round. If you can get her to 3 stars, that's nice. Remember that getting extra stars for low spenders and free-to-play is not worth it, okay? We're talking about wells, go for those 3-4 stars, grind the last one. Okay, her normal attack is 100% physical damage attack, nothing interesting here, 2-3, and then her basic skill, which is the innate skill, is nothing but a shield break 4 on a 1-3 range. This shield break basically gives you extra damage if the enemy has shield, making it easier to actually break them. Simple stuff, you're not going to be using this a lot. Her kit revolves around these passive attacks, dealing more damage and supporting your team. I'll just see why in a second. So let's start with her kit, the important part, rank 1 skills. First, starting with construction, one of the most unique skills in the game and pretty fun. You summon a box. Yes, you summon a box. That's what you do. You summon a box and you put it close to you. That's it. That's the skill. 0 cost for cooldown. You might be thinking, why would you summon a box? Wait until we check the rest of the kit to understand this. This is the skill you want to take, by the way. The other skill is a shield break. It's a passive that is pretty strong as well. When you attack an enemy with a shield, your attack increases by 30% and you ignore 40% of defense. You might be thinking, Dev, you really pick the box over that passive? Yes, you do. Let's go over rank 3 skills. Rank 3 skills, you can pick both and you will be ended up picking both of them depending on the situation. Let's start with Guiding Light. This is once again where you start to see why she's so good as a support. Energy 1, cooldown 4. She grants damage up 3, magic defense 2, move 1 to all allies within 3 grids, and also dispels all interference on the target. What's this interference, Sefhi? What the fuck is that? Don't worry, I got you. If you go to this one here, it's immunity to disrupt. Basically, you become immune to move, active skills, passive skills, reaction, all of these blockers, right? Whatever you want to call them, you become immune to all of those. So it is a pretty strong skill, as you can see. You're getting a 30% damage increase, magic defense increase by 40%. You get more movement and you become immune to all of those debuffs. This guiding line is super strong. Depending on the boss, however, you might want to also pick throwing barrels and change it. This throwing barrel is, well, like the name says, you throw a barrel. You throw a barrel, deal 20% to all of the enemies within 3 grids of that or 3 tiles of the range, and you turn the terrain into strong liquor. I am pretty sure, and please someone confirm me this in the comments if I'm wrong, that you can then burn this terrain. You can actually flame this terrain, okay? And this is an instant skill as well. You can use this, for example, with Beryl and your fighter their skills, and I'm pretty sure they will do more damage, but I am not 100% sure. If someone can confirm this, that would be super nice. So those are the 2 skills on rank 3. Most of the time, you will start with Guiding Light, and depending on the boss, some of the bosses you want to take Throwing Barrels for the extra damage with your Beryl or whatever fire character you have. So let's move into your reaction, and this ties back to construction. As you all remember, we summon a chest, but the first reaction you get is Cover Advantage, which when there is an item within one tile of the player, within Edda, your damage taken is reduced by 40% constantly. A lot of the times the AI will not target these boxes, they will target your character, because the AI is not really that smart, right? So you have a 40% damage reduction almost always, because there is plenty of items and obstacles you can use to proc this, which is an amazing passive reaction. The other reaction is basically Fight Back, which is the usual reaction to counter attack or Strike Back depending on the character. I would not pick that, go always for Cover Advantage. Now let's move into level 7 skills, and once again you'll see the same thing. First of all, we have Defense Break, a simple passive, which is before doing a single target attack, there's a 50% chance to apply Physical Defense 2 to the target for 2 turns. This is pretty good because you are doing a lot of passive attacks, right? Single target attacks on every round, as long as you are close to your allies with your passive. But the Street Fight is even better, because Street Fight, as you can see, when there is an item within one tile of the caster, once again Edda, your attack increases by 15%, and after an active attack you can move another 2 squares. This is really good because this will proc also with your passive, meaning you can move after you already acted and reposition Edda if you need to. Really strong attack. Now let's go into her basic attacks at the rank 9. Rank 9, as usual, guys, we're still not there even on global. We still need to get a little bit, farther, since this is going to be level 45. I don't think even Wells are close to this, but this is when a lot of characters will become really, really strong, because you are starting to see the difference in power between your normal attacks and the good basic attacks. You have 2 basic attacks, and again, remember that she attacks twice per turn as long as you have 3 stars outside of her turn, with her passive. Meaning you have two options here. You can go with Shield Breaker, that as you can see, it's a normal attack that once again will ignores block and gives you increased damage against enemies with the shield, which is not bad. But you also have a Dispel, meaning you deal 100% physical damage, but you dispel 2 buffs. There is no chance here. You dispel 2 buffs every time you attack, meaning you want to go with this because this will also proc every time you are also doing your passive twice per round. You can do this up to 3 enemies per round, which is really powerful to actually remove all of the debuffs from your from the enemies, not only on PvE but also on PvP. Now let's move into the level 11 skills, and then we'll move into her equipment and everything that you need. First of all, you have Take Up Arms, which is a powerful support skill. This restores 1 energy to all allies within 4 tiles, and when you are doing a supported attack on your passive, damage is increased by 130%. And the maximum number of times per round increases by 2, lasting for 1 round. So not only you can do 2 attacks, you can do another 2 if you proc this and increase your damage by 130%. So if a lot of enemies are coming close to you, you put your box, you proc this up, and your damage goes through the roof. And not only you're supporting your allies, but you are doing a lot of extra attacks in there as well. This is really, really cool. And then you have a Storm Sniper, which is a pretty simple skill with an energy cost 4 and a cooldown of 0 that will deal more damage the more squares that the shot travels, basically, right? A pretty simple one, but you don't want to be taking that one up. Now that's it about her skills. Let's go over a little bit what people are picking for her and what's good equipment to get for our new girl. So as you can see, people are going for that passive, for the Dispel, for the passives on your boxes, so you can deal more damage. It's pretty funny. And then depending on what you're doing, as you can see here, they don't recommend taking the barrel. But if we go to the Celion build, he tells you that you might want to pick the barrel depending on the type of content. And I think you should be picking the barrel because it's going to be really helpful. So those are the skills most people recommend. Now let's go over the gear that I recommended for you. There is 2 bows or 3 bows and 2 pieces of equipment. I can only show you 1 piece of equipment, that this trinket, because I don't have the other one. This trinket is a true lens, you get it for free, which is great. Increases your physical attack by 2%, and when attacking from Highland, your crit is increased by 14%. Highland for Edda is not as important. This makes sense for other characters, but it's still a pretty good one. The other one that both guides recommend, it's actually this ring right here. This ring is really powerful, and both of them recommend it for Edda. Now, what about weapons, Sefhi? Well, there is multiple weapons you can use. There is actually 3. The SR, that you most likely have already, the steel crossbow. This ignores 12% of the target's defense, pretty good. There is also this bow right here, the Meteor line, increases your physical attack by 1%, and after dealing damage with single target attacks, it inflicts a random level 1 debuff for 2 turns. It will proc every single time you attack and also with your passive. But this is not the best bow for her. The best bow for her is actually this one, the Irian Combat Bow, which I've gotten 3 times. The RNG with the bows is killing me. My Edda is going to be strong though. This increases physical attack by 1% and deals 10% more damage when not in the character's turn. This is for characters that attack or do counter attacks all the time. Edda, Faikal. This is a really powerful bow if you can get it. So once again, my Edda is gonna be cracked thanks to my RNG, basically. But that is the best bow you can actually equip on her. These two, the Meteor Line, the Iron Combat Bow, if you don't have them, the Steel Crossbow is a pretty good option, since basically this is 3 damage and you are ignoring the target's defense. Those are the ones that people are recommending for her, and that's also what I would personally recommend going for. That said though, I think most people should be pulling for Edda, trying to see if you can get lucky. If you can, if you are tight on resources and you are saving for other banners, you can save, but try to do a couple of multis if you can. And if you're going for meta characters, absolutely you should be going for her. I'm gonna be making a video updating the tier list with the current version and Edda, of course. So that will most likely be the next video, but that said, it's gonna be it for this one. Just wanted to talk about her skills and why she's so good. All that said, thank you to my patrons as usual for making this content possible. Love you all, bossos. Good luck with your pool dinners, and see you on the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。